Congratulations to the Taliban on one of the greatest comeback stories, I think, in the history of war. Down big against a superpower. They didn't let that faze them. They came back. They waited for the right time. And at the end of the day, they're back. They're back just like that, despite having the mission accomplished sign in 04 or 05, whatever George Bush did. The Taliban is back. You gotta wonder, what was the strategy that the Taliban implemented that worked so well? Was it their strategy, or was it bad U.S. strategy? I highly doubt that. There's no way it could have been bad strategy on America's part. But the Taliban, they stuck to their guns, which are probably our guns, but they stuck to their guns. They didn't give up. They didn't quit. They believed in Allah all the way through. And now they're about to take over Kabul, the biggest city in Afghanistan, I believe, or the capital, at least, of Afghanistan. They've taken most of the other cities. And it's a feel-good story, I think. A lot of people are trying to spin this negatively. I think this is a feel-good story. I think Disney will make not a movie, because nobody watches those, but they will make a 6-part streaming series on Disney Plus called The Taliban. It's going to be animated. It's going to be Pixar style. And it's going to be a good watch. It's going to be worth it. But yeah, I mean, they made the comeback. They put up the numbers, and they're back. So I just want to say congratulations to everyone over at the Taliban Inc. This has really got to suck for George Bush. I wonder what kind of painting he's going to paint about this now. Georgie Bush, what kind of painting you got for this? Huh? And, I mean, at the end of the day, I think you got to look at this and you say, okay, we're in August right now. So Joe Biden has been president for a little less than 7 months. We'll say 6 months. And he has really dropped the ball on a lot of things, hasn't he? I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. Is the world today better than it was a year ago? Is America today better than it was a year ago? It's hard to argue that it is. Was the Taliban taking over Afghanistan a year ago? I don't think so. Was COVID as big of a problem a year ago as it is today? I don't know if it was. We have 3 vaccines and everybody's still getting COVID. Does that mean they don't work? Whoa, you can't say that. Can't say that. Hold on. You can't say the vaccines don't work, even though they don't. But you can't say that, even though they don't. You just can't say that because that makes you a terrorist. That's the other beauty. Now, you don't have to be in the Taliban to be a terrorist. You just have to say masks don't work, or vaccines don't work, or lockdowns don't work, and all of a sudden, according to the U.S. government, you're a terrorist now. Isn't that nice? Wow. What an inclusive society we live in right now. You can be a terrorist just for fucking not wanting to wear a fucking mask. If that's the case, I live in Texas and there's a lot of them motherfuckers down here. You know what I'm saying? It's just interesting how a new regime can basically flip everything on its head and say, no, this is what we're doing now. And you gotta wonder, because there's no way this was Joe Biden's idea. He's the figurehead. Right? And people called it the deep state. Trump called it the deep state. And I think now we're realizing that he's fucking right. It's the deep state. The deep state basically came out with these guidelines that are like, you're a terrorist if you oppose lockdown measures, right? There's terror alerts around 9/11 and religious holidays and stuff like that, which, I mean, I went to a 9/11 party last year. It was a great time. I'd like to go to another one this year. I'm not planning one personally, not because of COVID, just because I don't want a bunch of, people in my apartment. There was one other thing they said that makes you a terrorist. I don't know. But honestly, at that point, the first bullet point, the COVID measures, if you oppose COVID measures, you're a terrorist. That alone is like, really? That's what we're doing right now? People have called me a terrorist because of my beard, but not because of my anti-lockdown beliefs. This is new. That's new. That's new right there. And it really makes you wonder, like, what are you allowed to think? What are you allowed to think? Well, 1984-esque, right? You know, don't do the wrong think. Don't do wrong think. And everything, you know, everything has been progressing towards this since COVID dropped in March 2020. Everything has been heading towards this direction, right? And you can point at, you know, all types of different things between locking people down, telling people who's essential, you know, whatever happened with that election. We all know it wasn't normal. Well, of course it wasn't going to be normal. It wasn't going to be a normal election because we didn't want people to get COVID, even though everyone got COVID. Isn't that funny? Everybody still got it. And everyone's still getting it. What about the Lambda variant? What about the Lambda? That's the new thing, the Lambda variant. It's like, oh, it's more vaccine resistant. Is it that, or do the vaccines just suck? Because people were getting regular COVID with the vaccine, but they weren't getting as sick. They're still getting it. What the fuck are we doing? Why didn't we just let it run its course? Well, because my grandma was going to die. Oh, whoa, my bad. I didn't know that. I didn't know your grandma was going to die. Because I was of the understanding that everyone's grandma dies at some point. That's how that works. I hate to break it to you. Everybody dies at some point. If old people are dying, that's not abnormal. Yeah, but they're dying because of COVID. Well, something was going to kill them. I don't know if you know that. That's how old people die. From something. At least if they get COVID, it's like, oh, they didn't get their head chopped off. Gotta be better. I don't know. Never had my head chopped off. Not sure if I've ever had COVID because I don't get tested. But I gotta believe it's better to get COVID and die than get your head chopped off by a tyrannical government. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. It's possible. I'm just saying. And now, you know, people are talking about, oh, you're going to need a vaccine to go to interstate travel. Really? You're going to need a vaccine to do interstate travel. Well, guess who's not doing interstate travel then? A lot of fucking people. I mean, you're really just setting up the scenario where a lot of people are going to be like, I don't want any of this shit. Can we break away? Like, people are going to want to break away from a government that runs like this. I mean, and it's crazy how quickly it happened. 6 months of Joe Biden. And now we're in a situation where whether you're in a state where you don't have to get vaccinated or not, you can get locked into that state because you can't cross the border into another state. That's never been the case before that I know of, where interstate travel is being regulated like this. Not interstate commerce, interstate travel. Interstate commerce, different story. Interstate travel is literally just, I'm going from Michigan to Ohio. I'm going from Texas to Oklahoma. I'm going from Mississippi to Alabama. That kind of shit, to my knowledge, has never been regulated. But now they're about to try and do that because they want everyone to get the vaccine. And look, if you want to get the vaccine, that's your freedom, I thought. But now, apparently, it's your duty. Is it? You have to do it. You absolutely have to. If you don't do it, you're a fucking terrorist. It's like, wow, the way they framed this argument has never been more divisive. Like, you got to be able to look at this and be like, this is kind of divisive, isn't it? People said Trump was the most divisive president of all time. Have you heard of Joe Biden? I know he has no idea what he's doing. So I'm not trying to blame him. He's a senile old man who has no fucking clue what's going on. Everyone around him, though, evil. Fucking evil-ass, power-hungry, controlling-ass motherfucking people. The whole administration of that. And they're running the country into the ground. They let the Taliban take Afghanistan. They're letting all these crazy motherfuckers try to destroy what's going on in America. They want to shut your business down again. They do. They really do. and this is more than just your kids wearing masks in school. This is, we're going to make you put an experimental drug in your children. Hold the phone. We are going to make you put an experimental drug in your children. Does that sound like a freedom-loving country to you? Does that sound like democratically elected leaders? Or does that sound like tyranny? Does that sound like fascism? Hey, maybe Trump's not the fascist. Maybe the fucking Biden administration is the fascists. What? Come on, guys. Could that be? Is it possible? I think that's what it is, honestly. But people don't like to think like that. People like to think that everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. It's fucking not. The Taliban are back. Al-Qaeda right around the corner. Your freedoms don't matter. This is 9/11 2.0, and this year they made it last 2 fucking years. And this time they're going to make you shoot shit into your fucking body, and it's not foreign bullets. It's a fucking vaccine. Why are you scared of a vaccine? I'm not. I don't want it. No means no until it's a vaccine. Then no means, come on, you're a terrorist. That's what it means. No means no, right, ladies? Come on, Me Too. Come on, Alyssa Milano. I thought no meant no. But I guess it doesn't. I guess no means you're a terrorist. Yes means you're compliant. And there's no middle ground. So that's kind of where we're at in the country. Half the people are terrorists, half the people are bitches, and looks like a fun 4th of July next year coming up, huh? We might not even need the fireworks, eh? I'm just saying, it's going downhill fast, real fast, and I'm not excited about it. Literally, they just declared half the country terrorists. That's Nazi shit, you dumbasses. That's what that is. Did you read history? No, but I watched Schindler's List like a couple times, man. Oh, nice. Do you know the background? Do you know how all that happened? Propaganda, control, consolidation of power, emergency states. That's how all of that happened. Does any of that sound familiar? Yeah, it's what's going on. But we need infrastructure. Healthcare is infrastructure. Social justice is infrastructure. Wow. Do you know what social justice is, and do you know what infrastructure is? Because when you say shit like that, I don't think you know what either of them are. Cory Bush out here talking about, oh, we need to defund the police, but I'm going to spend $70,000 a week on fucking private security. Oh, really? $70,000 a week? What's your salary? What is your fucking salary? $70,000 a week. $70,000. That's $3.5 million. $70,000 a week. That's $3.5 million that you're fucking spending on that. Are you making $3.5 mil as a fucking House of Representatives, bitch? There's dudes in the NFL who don't make $3.5 mil a year. They're on the bench for the Lions, but they're fucking there. And you're spending that on private security, and you're out here yelling about defund the police? Are you shitting me? Like, that's what it is, guys. They're literally dividing the country into 2 classes. The ruling class and the terrorist class. And it's not even gonna be a close one because they are going to use all of the military to enforce this shit. The military is literally bred to comply to orders from the top. So when the generals start buying into this shit, it's game over. Okay? And the generals are buying into this shit. Maybe not all of them. Maybe not all the way. But enough to where they can just, I don't know if you know this either, but Hitler fired generals when they didn't do what he said. He just fired them. And by that, I mean, fire, not just you fired. He shot him. Had someone else shoot him. You know, delegation. Yeah, Hitler was big on delegation. Big fan of delegation over there, Adolf Hitler. Adolf Delegation Hitler, that's what I called him. My point is, it's going to happen. They're going to get the generals to pass down bullshit orders to the military, and they're going to follow it, and they're going to take your freedoms away more than they already have. and that's going to be the end of America. So I hope you liked it while it lasted, because it's not going to last long. We might have another 6 months of this shit, and then I think it's going to be straight up chaos. Next January 6th, it's going to be a disaster, because you're going to have people who are like, we need to storm the Capitol again. Then you're going to have the other side who's like, they're going to storm the Capitol again. And then the other 95% of Americans are going to be like, I just want to go work. I just want to have my kids go to school without a mask. I just want to eat my food. I just want to live my life. I want to watch my sports. I want to enjoy. Can we do that? And they're going to be like, no, you need to get the vaccine or we're going to shoot you with a vaccine bullet. And they're going to be like, if those are the options, I guess those are the options now, huh? Those are the fucking options. I'm fucking dead serious, by the way. This is exactly how it's going to happen. And people are looking at me like, oh, you're just a conspiracy theorist. Really? Really? Did you see that video that came out of France of the police going to cafes and asking people to show them their vaccine passport? Pull out your phone. Let me see your QR code. You got a QR code? I'm going to scan it. Strapped to the gills, bulletproof vest, fucking guns. In a country with no guns, by the way. France, nobody has guns over there. Strapped to the dick, even though it's a lady cop, strapped to the dick. Let me see your vaccine passport. It's happening. Hollywood made fucking 80 years of Nazi movies and nobody paid attention. Nobody paid attention. Nobody really watched those things. So now we're in this boat, and we might have to rock the boat. They say don't rock the boat, baby, but I say rock the boat. Don't, and they say don't tip the boat over, but I say rock the boat. Ooh, rock the boat, don't rock the boat, baby. I mean, it's funny because at this point, even saying shit comedically, like, yeah, obviously some of the shit I said I meant. Other shit is just hyperbole and jokes. But even being a comedian, they're going to be like, well, you're spreading misinformation. Yeah, I'm a fucking comedian, you dipshit. I don't know if you... There's a whole strategy in comedy called misdirection, where you take the audience this way and then you say something over here because they're not ready for it and you get a laugh. But that's misinformation. Misinformation, is it now? Was it misinformation when they said the vaccines work? It's only misinformation if they don't like what you say. Then it's misinformation. Like the word misinformation is this weird 1984 style word anyway. And you're like, what? How? This, I mean, we want to act like this came out of nowhere, but this is remnants of 9/11. This is remnants of the Patriot Act. This is remnants of all this shit. Okay? And the Trump administration didn't make it better. They didn't solve a lot of these issues. They didn't put safeguards for your freedoms into place when they could have. They didn't. They didn't. Because they were so infatuated with the fucking stock market going up, which was great. They were so... It's like, yeah, that's one part of being president. That's why being president is such a difficult job, because there's way more than just one aspect of it. It's not just your COVID response. It's not just the economy. It's not just making sure the Taliban don't take over Afghanistan. I mean, that's part of it, you would think. You would like to think. There's so many different aspects of it that it makes it almost impossible to be a really good president unless you got a really good team around you. But what happened with Trump was he was so enamored with the economy, he kind of let the freedoms thing that he was talking about, he didn't do shit on that. So now we're in this boat. He could have signed a law last year that made it federally illegal to mandate vaccine passports. He could have done that last year when he was still president. He didn't do it. He could have done it before the election. Still didn't do it. Could have done it after the election. Didn't do it. So everyone who's like, Trump's my hero, it's like, yeah, but he dropped the ball on that. I'm not saying he dropped the ball on the COVID response, but he dropped the ball on ensuring that your freedoms do not get robbed through political means. And now we're in this boat. So, don't rock the boat. Don't rock the fucking boat. with that, I think it's a good time to get into our porn star of the podcast for this week. It is Elsa Jean, this week's porn star of the podcast. The bio, I don't know where it's not from Pornhub, unfortunately. It's just an overview. She was born September 1st, 1996. Makes her 24 years old. She is from Canton, Ohio. 5'3". She's been in movies and TV shows, including Devious Stepsister Volume 2, I Came Inside My Stepsister 2, Come Inside Me 2, a lot of sequels, Coming of Age Volume 2, Web Young, The Babysitter 11, A Soft Touch 2, The Biology Exam, New Girl POV, Black and White Volume 12. Now, education is she went to George Mason University. Shout out to George Mason. They had a big run in the tournament a while back. She went to North Canton Hoover High School. Let's go to her IMDb here real quick if we can. She has a mini bio on here. We'll read that real quick. It says, very cute and petite, 5'3", blonde Elsa Jean was born in North Canton, Ohio. Elsa attended Hoover High School in North Canton. Jean worked both at a grocery store and at a Starbucks prior to beginning her career in the adult entertainment industry as a stripper in Washington, D.C. Hey! There you go, nation's capital. It was during her work as a stripper that she received the nickname Elsa after the Disney princess of the same name. Isn't that cute? Among the notable companies Elsa has... let's roll it back. She first started performing an explicit hardcore foray at age 18, thank God, in June 2015. Does that add up? Does that add up, everybody? I think it does add up. 18, there you go. Among the notable companies, Elsa has appeared in X-rated features for our Third Degree, Evil Angel, Digital Sin, Blacked, and Arrows Entertainment. Moreover, Jean has also worked for such adult websites as Zeph Porn, Team Skeet, Eero Curves, and New Sensations. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is this week's Porn Star of the podcast. Elsa Jean from Canton, Ohio. Shout out to Elsa Jean. Now, before we wrap this up, this is going to be another 20-minute episode. I'm sorry if you wanted the 43-minute episode. I don't have time, okay? I'm sorry. And this is coming out late anyway. I want to get it to you. Okay? If there's one thing you can take away from this podcast, okay, it's that the Taliban taking over Afghanistan is, first of all, a great rhyme. I just said it right there. I was like, Drake has to do a line about it. Wasn't it in Jumpman, the song Jumpman by Drake, he's got a line where he's like, Taliban. They're back, dude. I think Drake is in charge of the Taliban, actually. Do we know that Drake's not in the Taliban? Do we know that? We don't. He's Canadian, though, so we can't do shit about it. Is he vaccinated? Is Drake vaccinated? I haven't heard Drake say a lot about the vaccine. Maybe he's busy fucking bitches in Dodger Stadium, but I don't know. With all of that said, thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Porny Capitalism. Please maintain your freedom as long as you can. Thank you.